Welcome to yet another vlog. It's your village champion Erina TL, and today I'm taking you through a traditional marriage ceremony in central Uganda, that is the Buganda culture. Welcome, come and have a glimpse into our cultures. The spokesperson on the ladies' side will take the family members and the friends and the neighbors through the entire ceremony, how it will be run. For easy identification, the ushers on this function were dressed in the Western culture. Yes, the function is in Central, but they were dressed in Western culture. It's also a sign of unity. The cultural differences should not divide us. The father, who is also the head of a family, will then welcome the visitors. I cannot translate to you what exactly he is saying because we are not allowed to repeat the words of our elders. The mom does the same also, welcoming the people, the neighbors and the family friends to the family ceremony and wishing them well all through the ceremony. It is every mother's joy and honor to live to see their daughters being taken off in marriage by a responsible man, responsible enough to come and visit the parents and give them their due respect and honor. Traditionally, moms do not witness these traditional marriage ceremonies of their daughters. They have to go back inside the house to prepare their daughter and also give guidelines on the different preparations taking place. Once the team of a man intending to marry arrives at the gate, in these corona times, they will be checked for any signs of corona, and also they organize themselves, getting ready to enter once they are called. Traditionally, the team of the man intending to marry will offer a local brew to the family where they want to marry from, as a sign of asking them to welcome them into their family. Once it is accepted, the entire team will then be ushered in. It's all jubilation inside the host family, for it's always a blessing to always have visitors in our home. It is believed so, more so when they have an intention of marriage. A team of young girls is then sent out to go and check out on the health conditions of the visitors. Normally, this is just to put a flower on them to identify the visitors from the rest of the family members, family friends, and other guests. The visitors are then ushered in with a traditional dance. Yes, this is a Buganda dance. It is in the central Uganda. It's mainly the footwork that gives the waist its movement. Yes, more emphasis is put on the footwork. Just to tell you about the traditional dance. All the men and the team of the man intending to marry have to be dressed in this dress-like wear, which is called kanzu in the local language. It is a sign of respect and honor. It is what we use when we are going to marry. Should a man come dressed otherwise in central Uganda, that is in Buganda, it is perceived as a sign of disrespect to the parents or the hosts. After taking their positions, they are not allowed to sit until they are told to do so. So while they are still standing, The national and the Buganda anthems will be sung as a way of beginning the ceremony. The spokesperson on the father's side will then start giving the guidelines for sitting. For example, here he says, if there are any people who think that our kingdom should not be developed to its peak, should sit down. At this point, no one sits, for everyone wishes the kingdom to be put back to the peak. And then he also says, if there are people who wish the kingdom to go back to the peak, let them sit. And so you have to show that you really wish well for the kingdom. Then you take your seat, just like we have sat right now. As the elders greet the visitors, the women have to kneel down and the men stand as a sign of respect and honor. Then after, they take their rightful seats. After giving the reports of the condition of the visitors, each one of these girls is given a gift. Normally, these gifts are not by force. It depends on how someone feels or what someone can afford. As you can see, after getting their gifts, they go back inside the house. It is celebration and jubilation all over. For it's a blessing to have marriage in a family. In African setting, it's a huge blessing to welcome visitors with an intention of marriage. For marriage unites different families together and promotes love. So it's celebration, as you can see, all over the place. The different relatives on the girl's side, including her friends also, will then come out to also greet and welcome the visitors in a special way. Like I told you, it is celebration all around. This time to gift them, the ladies that have come to greet, the same number of men from the man's side intending to marry, each will carry a gift to go and hand it over to each lady. It is a blessing to greet visitors, for you receive. That is culture.
Tusanyuse okubalaba bassebo.
Wamu naffe bassebo.
Tusanyuse okubalaba bannyabo.
Ate abo basanyufu nnyo.
The spokesperson on the man's side, that is the man intending to marry, will then go before the elders, kneel down, appreciate them for the warm welcome, and also air out the main reason as to why they have come to visit this family. Traditionally, you're supposed to humble yourself down, more so when you're asking for someone's daughter in marriage. So, it is mainly the girl's auntie on her father's side that handles her issues of marriage. So the man will tell the father that it is the auntie that knows about our issue. This happens to be the sister of the girl's father. So they request that the sister of the girl's father be brought to explain their issue of marriage. Before this main marriage ceremony, the man intending to marry should have visited the auntie for recognition and to explain the matter, for it is the auntie who forwards the matter to the father. So at this point, the auntie will go out to search out for her husband on behalf of her daughter in the many visitors that have come, to differentiate him and show him to the people, the family, and the parents specifically. After the auntie finding her husband on behalf of her daughter, she then shows off the man to the entire crowd, and great jubilation and jubilation is just all over the place. I must tell you, it is a beautiful moment. But I always wonder, what if the aunt chose another man? What happens? As a sign of pledging allegiance to the kingdom from which the girl comes from, or the girl's father, there are some gifts with seals from the kingdom that have to be offered to the girl's father. This is a way of supporting the kingdom and also ensuring that the values and the virtues of the kingdom plus the boundaries are constantly remembered. Among these gifts is the map of the kingdom, that is Buganda Kingdom. A picture of the king, whom we call Kabaka in our local language, and a picture of the queen, whom we call Nabagereka. The person carrying the photo of the king has to be a man, and that one of the queen Nabagereka has to be a woman. The one with the king's photo doesn't kneel down, but the one with Nabagereka's photo has to go on her knees while offering it. So these are the gifts being organized to be delivered to the father of the lady. Some other things from the kingdom include certificates with seals that really certify that they are from the kingdom. This is what the gentlemen are offering to the parents of the girl right now. It is a requirement for everyone marrying from Buganda. It is jubilation, and constant and unending applause as our bride comes out or steps out for the very first time to also greet or salute the guests that have come for her own cause. It is a great moment. She is normally brought out by her auntie that I told you is a sister to her father. In Buganda, those aunties are the ones in charge of preparing girls for marriage. So as you can see, the aunt is in front and leading on to show her to the people that have been waiting for her. You can see the joy that is filling everyone. She meets her man and it's all glamour. Look at her beauty. Look at her splendor. It was all massive. After greeting and checking on all the guests that have come on her traditional wedding, the bride then takes her position at the designed gazebo with her matron, and her auntie always sits aside watching her daughter show off her beauty and her splendor. It is always a joyful moment, I must say. At this point, The sisters of the man intending to marry will then take their very first gift to the sister-in-law, that is their brother's wife. This is not just a gift, it's normally flowers, fruits, and anything that they know she likes. They are always followed by a special kind of message, which they claim is always from their brother to her. It's always a joyful moment. So once they reach her, they kneel down and deliver the message to her. In this message, some use the flowers to describe their kind of love and commitment to their partners, and some really use them to exaggerate. After this session of taking the pictures for memories, the man and 5 of his relatives are then led inside the house where the real marriage ceremony takes place. In our culture, we believe it is being accepted into this family as a son. That time is when we, the rest of the guests, get to have lunch, for the main groom will have his lunch inside the house. And I must tell you, on traditional functions, no fast food is served. It must be entirely local food. So as you're seeing me, I'm unwrapping my luombo. Luombo is normally a respectful sauce prepared for the guests as a sign of honor. It is soup steamed in banana leaves. If you've not seen this before, you can check it out on Eating the African Way. And the link to that channel is in the description box below. You can always steam fish, meat, or chicken, whatever you wish. Immediately after lunch, a groom's team will then head to their convoy or their cars where they left them to bring on the gifts that they carried for the bride, the bride's parent, and the entire family. Just for clarity here, these gifts are not asked for by the parents, but it's out of the abundance of the groom's heart that he provides whatever he can afford. My good people, on this particular day, it was many gifts, beautiful gifts, and so amazing. At this point, the groom is done with his lunch and the ceremonies inside the house. The auntie called the singer will now bring him out as the gifts are being arranged for him to give the gifts which he's supposed to hand to specific individuals personally. That is to say, to the father, to the girl's brother, and the rest. For the bride to receive the gifts which her man, now the son of the house, has brought to the family, she comes back changed in different clothes. She is allowed to change as many times as she can afford. I tell you, it is just great joy, great jubilation around here. This particular moment, she's escorted by her favorite artist, and that is King Saha. If you can afford an artist on your traditional marriage, you can contact them and they come and sing your favorite songs. That is exactly what she did, and it was great amazement as many people were shocked to see this big artist on this function. I must tell you, it was also a big and massive function. During traditional marriages and ceremonies, the bride's auntie, that is the singer, and the bride's mom are always gifted with suitcases with traditional wares in them. So as you can see, our bride here has already gotten ours. The matron receives on behalf of the mom, as she's not allowed to come out in public. She can't face her son-in-law. And the auntie is also given her own package. this is always a great moment of joy. More gifts are being brought forward. Mainly, these are now the cocks that are given to the brothers of the bride. Mainly, the main brother who will give her out on the wedding day. Also brought is a thigh of a cow on traditional marriages. In Buganda, we are mainly farmers. But if you come from a land where there are mainly cattle rearers, you do not in any way carry a thigh. You bring the requested number of cows. Yes. As I told you, it's always a day of showcasing beauty, splendor, and class. I, for one, I can't tell you how many times our bride has changed. But in all her clothes, she looks so amazing. And for memory, she has to take all the pics that we need. At this particular moment, she heads on to serve her very first meal to her guests. And that is normally the cake. She cuts the cake with her brother, the one who is to give her out on the wedding day. Finally, here comes the time for engagement. And like I've told you before, engagement on our traditional marriages is not entirely asking for her hand in marriage. The ring is a sign that no man should ever come back to this compound asking for her hand in marriage, for she is taken. Oh yes. I have told you, I've given up on counting how many times my beloved, beautiful sister has changed the clothes, but it's all for the beauty of her day. It is just one day she has to enjoy. In our culture, you get married once, so you do all the fun, you enjoy your day to your maximum. So on whatever she was going to do for her man, she had to change. This time around, she's serving him the juice, and she's in a different dress. As long as you can afford it, please go ahead and enjoy your day. In Africa, we get married once, at least from the tribe where we come from, where I come from. Oh yes, she is in yet another very beautiful cloth. This particular time, she's bringing her gift to her husband. It is known as Kabokamwala, literally translated for girl's basket. This is her gift to her man. It's mainly comprised of fruits and eats or biscuits or something like that, so that he can be feasting on those as she prepares to leave her parents' house and go to his house. Thank you so much for not letting me down, but I also know that women who fear the Lord are never let down. Thank you for when you saw value in me, you also decided to add value on me. I appreciate that. These were her own words to her man.